everyone, and welcome back to another episode of DPX Live. Ignore the earphones. My Bluetooth earphones just died, so I gotta look like an alien for a little bit. They are charging. But I appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy week to tune in and watch each show. We have an exciting hour of all things paranormal to talk about. We'll get into that in just a little bit. As always, just a little update on what DPX, that's Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, has been up to since our last show. Although we have not had an event in the last few weeks, we had a chance to do a group investigation at Eloise and try out some new equipment to include an amazing new light called a deadlight. If you had a chance to watch any of our live feeds on our social media channels, we really appreciate it. If you have not had a chance to check us out, make sure you go to Facebook and find us at Detroit Paranormal Expeditions or DPX Live. Whenever DPX does an investigation, we'll post our static cameras on our main DPX Facebook page, that's Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, and we'll do an additional live feed with a 4K camera utilizing our new deadlight on our DPX Live page. As always, this investigation did not disappoint. We had Jeff, Todd, Brandy, Phil Connors, which is our photographer, and myself from DPX. Assisting us was Christopher, Megan, Jennifer, and for Mystic Chats, the one and only Angel K, who we finally got to meet and investigate with. We're still going over evidence from that investigation, so stay tuned. Well, to be exact, stay tuned for August 28th when Brandy will come on and be a in-guest studio while Angel will be a guest over Skype. We'll go over every detail from that night. You don't want to miss it. So now on to the show. Tonight's guests are Charla Hardin and Beth Moore. A little bit about Beth. She is the lead investigator and psychic medium for Ghost Hunts USA and founder lead investigator of BAB Paranormal. Beth travels the U.S. investigating haunted locations with her coworkers from Ghost Hunts USA, giving first-time investigators to use equipment and become more intrigued with the paranormal world. You can find Beth on Twitter and Instagram at Mrs. Moore, Morre. I hope I spelled that right. 10,003. If not, she'll let me know. Now a little bit about Charla. Charla is the co-founder of... I missed that. Well, she's the owner of Trade Wolf Films, president of Digital Ink Concepts, chief digital and social officer of VidiSpace Incorporated, director of Ghost of War series, executive producer of The Twisted Realm. A little bit more about Charlotte. She's one of the most interesting things that she has done is the 18 years of experience she has in video surveillance, electronic, microwave, thermal technology, which help her evaluate anomalies and often leaves her shocked by some of the experiences and evidence that she found from security footage. So enough about me talking. Let's talk to these two amazing women. They are, Charla and Beth. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for taking time. I know you guys have busy schedules. We've been talking back and forth, and you guys are in two completely different states, correct?
Yeah. I'm in Ohio, and Charlotte's off in Georgia.
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 You got to say it like that.
Georgia.
Or it doesn't mean anything.
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah. So I did a quick synopsis of both of you. But if I missed anything, let me know. Beth, starting with you. Did I miss anything?
No, not at all. You covered it all, and you spelled my name right. So.
Oh, okay, good. I looked at it and I'm like, because I did it this morning when I was working my 16-hour shift, and I'm like,
Oh,
I hope it's right.
yeah, it was right. You did
All
good.
right.
You did good.
Good. Charlotte, did I miss anything with you?
I don't think so. I think I just lost connection for a minute, but it looks like I'm back now.
Okay.
So
Good.
I didn't hear the last few minutes.
Okay. Well, good. Then I didn't miss anything.
No, he
Well,
gotcha.
I want to start with you, Beth, and talk about the
Okay.
Ghost Hunts USA. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I find that very intriguing.
Yeah, basically the company started about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And a lot of people that are intrigued by the television shows or have had experiences their whole lives, but don't want to go out and rent a location on their own or go out and experience this on their own, they can come to our events and purchase tickets online. So we're there to kind of guide them. We supply equipment, show them how to use it, give them different techniques from old school to high technology ways to interact with the spirits.
Hmm.
And, we have, oh my gosh, over 60% are returning guests.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they come back, they come back, they come back, which is fantastic because it means we're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Now, do you guys do like a certain part of the U.S. or do you travel all over?
we're all over the United States. We are all the way from California to New York to Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Mississippi. I mean, you name it, we're there. West Virginia, um, Missouri, Minnesota. I mean,
Well,
we're
that's
a little
why
bit
that's why it's
everywhere.
hard to get in touch with you because you're all over the place.
Yes. Yeah, basically, yeah. I was in Colorado 4 times in the past month and a half.
At least it's not
So
snowing.
that's true. That's true.
It could be a lot
It's
worse.
beautiful.
But what are
Yes.
some of the your favorite locations from doing
Ooh,
stuff like that?
that's such a hard question because every place is so unique
Hmm.
that they're all my favorites. So each one of them brings something completely different. So like Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast, the history alone is phenomenal. So it's a favorite of mine. Moundsville, of course, in West Virginia is just outstanding for nonstop interaction with the spirit world. Missouri State Pen is just that creepy, dark,
Hmm.
you know. Um,
I love
gosh,
penitentiaries.
I do too. I do too. Um, yeah, every one of them is so different. I would have to say my absolute favorite is our new one that one of our new ones that we just got is the Abbey Monastery in
Okay.
Canyon City, Colorado. Um, how cool is it to go in and investigate an old freaking monastery
Yeah.
and all the religious aspects of it, the shields and everything, they're gone.
Hmm.
So the first thing that moves in is darkness. It's been trying to get in the whole entire time. Well, it's there, and the monks and the nuns are still there protecting that building, protecting the staff that's there. It's a wicked cool place.
That's awesome.
Super, yeah.
How can the viewers find out more about locations that you're coming up with?
So if you can join us on our Ghost Hunts USA group page on Facebook, and the people that join the group page actually get kind of a sneak peek at some of the new places that we are launching
Okay.
before everybody else. So you can join us there, or you can go to ghosthuntsusa.com, and that's where you can purchase the tickets and see all of the amazing locations that we have.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. I'm
Absolutely.
definitely gonna check that out because I think it's really cool. Because when I started getting into it, that how my first thing I went to.
Mhm.
Oh, hold on.
Hello, Charla.
Whoa.
Hold on one
Easy.
second here. You gotta
Hello, Sage Bowl.
you gotta
Yes.
ungroup it. Just keep talking. All right. So
Hello, forehead of mine.
you gotta turn the eyeball back on. Just turn the eyeball back. Okay. Okay. Jaden's got it.
He's working it out. He's working it out.
Yeah.
Turn the
Thanks,
eyeball-
Jaden.
All right. Well, Cheryl will be back in just a second. Can you tell us a little bit about your paranormal group that you're with?
Yeah, BAB Paranormal. It stands for Badass Bitches Paranormal. We were an all-female group that kind of just started out. I didn't have a lot of friends that was into this like I was. So I was the weird one on girls' night that wanted to do EVP sessions versus go to the bar.
There we go.
And so
Jaden,
my
I underestimated you. I apologize.
my friend Shannon decided that she wanted to try this with me. She got hooked, fell in love. So then we started BAB Paranormal, and just started going around investigating anything that's local. We've been helping out with private homes investigations, people that are having issues and troubles, different things like that. So
Awesome.
that's I travel so much. Unfortunately don't get to do too much with my personal team,
Well,
but
it seems like you're always in a haunted location every day.
I'm
So,
always, yes, always.
all right. So, Charlotte, let's go over to you since you came back. What's is that beeping in? Is that your box back there?
It is, and it's what's kind of weird is I've never heard it do that before. So there's
Well,
nothing on it right now.
well,
Um,
we'll get to that in a little bit because I keep
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued by it, and anyone who follows Charlotte or some of the things we're going to talk about is going to know exactly what that box is.
Uh-huh.
Because I got one made by the same guy right over there.
Uh-huh.
So
I don't know why it's doing that.
It sounds like a busy tone, like a phone call.
yeah, and we are doing a live feed, so
Well, I mean, what's strange is that there's nothing
There's no audio
on.
connected to it. Yeah, because I have the same, made by the same person, so I know exactly where you got to plug it into and everything. So, well,
Uh-huh.
we'll get to that in a minute. So I was reading over your bio, and I wanted to talk real quick.
Sorry, I don't know what
No,
to
don't worry about it.
do.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, some of, you got your surveillance skills, and we're talking about the anomalies and all that. So what I wanted to ask you, what's your professional tips you can give to our viewers about when they watch our live feeds and what to look for and what to kind of, you know, not look at?
So for as far as video surveillance goes,
Yeah, like how we do our static cameras with the security cameras and everything like that.
one thing that's important is lighting and
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you have your lighting correct and understand where you are in regards to your lighting. Because sometimes I've seen shadow figures on things, and it's actually because somebody is walking in front of a light that they can't see,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because it's infrared or whatever, and they don't realize that that's happening. I don't know what to do.
Well,
Sorry.
well, actually, Jeff's in the chat right now.
Is he
Jeff,
really?
Mhm.
Jeff, have you ever had that happen with one of your boxes where nothing's connected to it, but a busy tone's coming in? We'll see if he responds here in a second.
Okay.
But if you want to continue on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lighting is always important. I think Asbury might be trying to say hello. Hello,
Mhm.
Asbury. Lighting is very important. Another thing is resolution and frame rate. It can mean the difference of, uh, you know, like in one frame of video, the car
He said,
is
yeah.
in front of, on the road. The next frame of video, the car is already in the bush
Uh
on the
huh.
side of the road. And there's a lot that happened between that car being in the street and that car being in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
So the higher your frame rate at which you're recording, the more accurate video you'll get.
Okay.
I've seen things appear here and then they have appeared here, and they said, how did they get from here to here? But actually, it's a frame rate thing, and if you up your frame rate, you can see that. A
Yeah.
lot of times, live video that is watched is almost better than the recorded video, because if you're trying to save your hard drive space, then you'll typically lower that frame rate to try and be able to capture as much video as you can. So I'd say get a really good recorder and up that frame rate.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about frame rates and all that just by doing this because, I mean, it's you do one little thing and like you see, like we were doing, and then everything just goes awry. But the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick with your bio that you sent me, you said you're the direct descendant of Chief Gray Eagle, who's the last known Cherokee chief. Can you
Yeah, of
tell us
the
about that?
he was the last known Cherokee chief of the Tallulah Falls Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting how all that came about and me learning about that. Um, my father's cousin has done a lot of research on our family. And after talking about Ghosts of War series and making that happen,
Sorry,
um,
Jeff said the box is trying to grab your Bluetooth.
I just heard that. So the Bluetooth in my phone is off though.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. If you could elaborate, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna close it up. I'll just leave it on. So he's done a lot of research on that side of the family, and very little is known about him. There's a lot known in historic records and things like that, but in my family there wasn't a lot of stories. There weren't a lot of stories about that. There were some rumblings of it, but nobody really knew how deep those roots went. And so what's very interesting is his council chair was at a college in Tallulah Falls,
Okay.
Georgia. And it sat there for many years on display. And then I was researching it recently because I thought, how cool would that be, to go and actually sit in that council chair, which actually is just a very large rock. you know
That's
It's a
cool.
council chair. 1700s, they used rocks.
Yeah.
So how cool would that be? Anyway, just to, just experience that and vibe off of it.
Mhm.
But it was reportedly taken by a family member, and nobody knows who that family member was or where it sits now. So we don't know if that big rock is sitting in the middle of a field somewhere covered in moss, or, if they're actually taking care of it or what. So I'm going to try and track it down.
Well, sometimes things just pop up at the oddest locations and the time that you least expect it.
That's right.
Mhm.
So let's move on to our next topic that I want to talk about. It's a project, Charlotte, that you've been working on, and that actually DPX was part of with your fundraiser, and
Mhm.
that's the Ghost of War series.
Right.
So I got a quick little promo here. All right, so tell us about it. What's it about?
So Ghost of War series started. I had an experience after investigating in Gettysburg with Beth. We were at a Ghost Hunts USA event, and she was actually just attending this event. I wanted to go to Gettysburg, and she was excited about going, and we were excited about going together. So she didn't even have to be there for work. She just went because she wanted to,
Okay.
and it was phenomenal. We had some great experiences that night, and then on the way out of town the next or 2 days later, if you've ever been to Gettysburg, there is a certain feeling that you get when you first get there, and it stays with you until you leave. It's just inexplicable. Um, it's a sorrow. It's a heaviness. It's a mix of emotions, right? So I was leaving, and I, for some reason, just felt drawn to this field and pulled over. Now, a lot of the tourists were up on the other section up near the monument, stopping there. There's like a whole auto tour that you can do. And this was not a stop on the auto tour. I just felt compelled to stop. I got out of the car and I walked down next to the fence and I just laid down. And, cars whizzing by, and I'm laying in the middle of the field. But I had this incredible experience. I thought about what would it feel like? What would I be experiencing if I were a soldier in the war and I was just injured or wounded and lie here, dying. A lot.
Mhm.
The battle there started on the 2nd of July, and it didn't end until the 4th. And there were 2 days that passed before there was a ceasefire in which they could go and retrieve their wounded and their dead. So a lot of those men laid there for 2 days in the hot July sun, wounded, dying, probably terrified, delirious, all of the above. And it stuck with me. What would I be thinking? What would I be feeling? Who's going to take care of my family? Who's going to take care of my crops this year? What about my wife? I'll never see my children again. My mother, my father, just all those things that could be going through your mind. And I guess in any soldier's mind who's in any battle might think, but it stuck with me. And I wondered if maybe I had any relatives there. So I came back, started doing research, and it turns out that I did. I had, right now that I know of, 3 relatives. And what was really crazy is that once I found what battalions they were a part of,
Mhm.
and what skirmishes they were in, it ends up that one was in Thomas's brigade and 2 were in Wofford's brigade. The 2 that were in Wofford's brigade were brothers, and they were separated at Gettysburg, and one was taken, and he swapped sides, and he ended up fighting 2 years for the Confederacy and 2 years for the Union.
So you
Um,
just change sides right in the middle.
yeah, yeah. So I started researching the battlefield maps that are out there, and I Google Earthed them. And I looked at the battlefield map, and I looked at the image that I had taken 3 years ago, and I thought, wait a minute, it can't be. And I did it again. I looked back and forth. And then 2 weeks ago, when I was there for the Battlefield Bash, Heather Larson and I stopped. And the original place that I thought I had taken the picture wasn't it. It was about maybe half a mile up the street. We had just been on the auto tour where we found the Wofford's Brigade Memorial and the Thomas Brigade Memorial. Where I was standing in that field when I took that picture and we recreated the picture was direct triangular configuration with Wofford's Brigade and Thomas's Brigade on the other end of that stinking field. Tell me how that happens.
And that's a 3-year difference too.
Yeah. But what's so crazy, and I had no idea at the time when I just pulled over to field. What was so weird is that it's dead center in between where those two brigades started on that field in the Battle of Peach Orchard on that day. And so, the more and more I learn, it's just the coincidence.
And I will tell everyone, if you have a chance, go to their Facebook page, because you did a Facebook video of it. I'm not sure if it was a live video, and I watched it last night, and I was very intrigued by it because you have the maps and everything like that. If you have a chance, which Facebook page is that again? I know you have a few.
It's Ghosts of War series.
Ghost of War series. So if you have a chance after the show, or if you have some time, go to that Facebook page and watch it, because they show the pictures. You have the maps. They have photos of the two brothers too, right?
I do.
So if you have a chance, definitely go and look at that, because that's absolutely amazing that you take a photo 3 years ago and then in a random spot that you had no idea about, and then 3 years later it just all comes together.
Yeah. And, that experience that I had that day 3 years ago is really what kind of kicked this off for me. And, it was interesting because Beth kept saying in Gettysburg, I don't know if you remember this or not, Beth, but you kept saying that you felt like an older man was hanging out with us.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, if that has any relevance. I mean, Beth is like, when your best friend.
Your best friend.
Your
You
best
see my
friend.
best friend.
My best friend. When your best friend is a psychic, it's, life is very interesting. So whenever she says that she sees, hears, senses, whatever, I always take that to heart because she's usually right. And it was really interesting that that's what you said that day. And I don't know.
Definitely excited to watch it because I want to see what happens. It's one of those to be continued, because you can't give out all the details, but I'm definitely excited to watch it and see where it goes.
Thank you.
With the series, though, now we'll get back to the box. Jeff Fenton, amazing box maker. We have a few with our group, Detroit Paranormal Expeditions. They're in all our videos. They are amazing. I have one right there where he knows that I'm a police officer, and he found this radio, and it's a Motorola radio, and I pointed out to him that the Motorola is the radios that we use in the car, and that's a very old radio. And he wound up putting a speaker, and I've used it a few times, and I've never been disappointed with it yet. I mean, his stuff is just amazing, and the history that goes with it. But tell us about your box, because there's definitely some significance to how he built that.
There really is. Beth knew Jeff before I did. And I think I followed him because she told me to. And
well, I guess she told you the right thing to do then.
Yes.
I like I said, when your best friend's a psychic, you just do what she says. So I ended up following him on social media, and I saw this amazing work that he was doing, not only with boxes, just in general for people. And I was very impressed by him as a person. And then I had sent him a message, and I said, hey, would you be interested in, maybe me commissioning a piece, one of the boxes for the Ghosts of War series? I would love to have one. Your designs are amazing. They have that old feel to them. And I think it would be visually stunning for the film and also, or the series, and also, just to have a piece of his work. And he said, absolutely. And then he went out and sourced this radio. It was an old radio, I believe. and it was from the turn of the century, early 1900s. There is a piece of wood in the back that is from a building that was built in the 1800s, but based on his research, he's determined that the tree was probably around in the 1700s. So just right off the bat, it's just filled with amazing history and literal pieces of history. The front here.
That's the one thing I love about Jeff is he takes, like, for Eloise, for example, he takes wood and repurpose it from that location and makes a box out of it. Because I helped Jeff get some stuff, and I know he's making some amazing boxes out of it. But the history that comes and is absorbed in that, and then transfers it into a box so we can communicate. I know Brandy has one, and hers is absolutely amazing. And I've seen a bunch of the other ones, but the one you have, it has specific photos, and
it's really amazing what he did with this box. It is. There are actually photos underneath here that you can't see.
Okay.
So only he and I know what those are.
Secrets.
Yeah, and but the picture inside that's lit up here in the box is of my third great grandfather, Asbury Copeland. And he was the youngest member of my family who went off to the Civil War at the age of 24, and he passed away at age 25. He was injured in the Battle of Champions Hill in Mississippi. And he was a shoemaker. And Jeff was quite taken with Asbury and Asbury's story. And it's really interesting to listen to him tell the story, because he tells it from the heart and such a different perspective that I can tell you. But I can say that Asbury is very unique and that he's very persistent. So if you think about it, a man whose life was cut short in his at the age of 25, his spirit embodies that energy and spirit of a 25-year-old male to a T. And Jeff felt like he was there with him, guiding him and directing him. Asbury was a shoemaker, so he was a tradesman and worked with his hands and built things, right? And I think he was very intrigued and taken by Jeff and Jeff's work, and was an integral part of that journey with Jeff.
Well, not Jeff Fent, but Jeff Atkins wants to know: have you been to Prospect Place in Tringway, Ohio?
I don't think so, no.
Nope, but it's on my bucket list.
He said it's one of his all-time favorites. So, box is amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be on your series, so I can't wait to see what comes out of it, because I know what comes out of ours, and never disappoints.
And Beth will be with me in Gettysburg for the Gettysburg episode.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Are you excited about that?
I'm stoked. I can't wait.
I've been to Gettysburg once. I was younger, but the way you were talking about it makes me remember it, where it's just that, you go out there and it's just that calm, quiet, it's not loud, it's not the city, and it's a lot to take in, especially with the big fields and everything like that.
It is.
We hit the halfway mark, so as always, I always do a segment called DPX Evidence Review. Todd's segment was supposed to be this week, but since I was on vacation, I came back, didn't have enough time to do it, so we're going to try to do that on the next episode. But instead, I'm going to do an experience that I had at the Anchorage in Marietta, Ohio. So I'm going to roll the clip. We're going to watch it in its entirety, and then the three of us can possibly talk about it afterwards. So here it is. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. We are here in Marietta, Ohio, getting ready to do an investigation of the Anchorage.
Joe, you feeling okay?
No.
Do you want to go downstairs? Joe started a little bit of a headache.
Oh, then you need to go downstairs and you gotta get all the energy. Huh?
Good for now.
You just want to go take a break for a minute?
That's how I felt earlier when we did the walkthrough. Right after I came down that
Who's
stairwell.
the woman speaking? Do you want us to stay up here and play dolls with you?
Is there anything around him?
What about the ball? Can you hold the ball?
Joe, you should go down and take a break for a little bit.
No, he's not. He needs to go downstairs.
Maybe just get out of this area. It feels different up here.
Yeah, he needs to go downstairs.
The temperature went down 3 degrees, which isn't a lot, but it's kind of odd.
Come on. No, come on. I'm telling you, let's go.
You better listen to her.
You're not fooling me, and I can feel the energy all around you.
Take a break, Joe.
Okay, I'm gonna need a man to go with me. No, you're not.
You need a flashlight?
Hold on.
You got a flashlight here? Do you want mine?
Are you okay, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe's gonna take a break.
I feel like complete crap. It's like my blood pressure.
It's strong energy up here.
I felt earlier.
Welcome to Digital Inc. Concepts. Our goal is to help you bridge that gap between your marketing plan and your social media delivery. Through virtual officing, whether you're an individual business owner, small business, or large corporation, we can meet with you almost anywhere at any time to discuss your marketing plan. We really analyze your business to identify key aspects of your products and services to engineer a strategic marketing plan that helps deliver results. This leaves you to focus on what's most important to you as a business owner, running your business. Dozens of companies have already trusted us to deliver social media marketing programs, marketing management programs, high-quality images using both their own photos and stock footage to produce logos, collateral, videos, consistent with their brand messaging. So put Digital Inc. Concepts to work for you today. Then sit back, relax, and enjoy the ROI. Also, make sure you follow us on social media to hear about our upcoming do-it-yourself marketing classes beginning August 1st.
All right, welcome back. I didn't tell you I was going to put your commercial in there.
No, you didn't. It's funny because I haven't watched that commercial in so long. I was like, oh my gosh, there's Digital Inc.
It's got catchy music. So before I start talking about my experience, just for a brief moment, because I want to get back to stuff with you, can you tell us a little bit about that company?
Yeah, so Heather Larson and I started a company called Digital Inc. Concepts, and it was based off of the couple of years of work that we've done together for marketing and branding and things like that, and taking in addition to the security, that's basically what I do now for security, is the marketing and the outreach and sales. So we kind of took our expertise and put it together and started a company. Why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, I see some of your stuff, and especially with Jeff and Todd in there. You made them look very good. Okay.
Oh, you know what? They were easy to make look good. They look good already. So the work was half done for us.
Oh, okay. Did you have a chance to watch the segment? I don't know if you were watching on your phone at all.
I did. I watched.
Okay, so to sum that video up just a little bit, we had a lot of crazy experiences that night. If you watched that live feed, it was we planned on going to, I think, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We even had the opportunity to stay there. We ended at midnight. I got affected, Matt got affected, and Todd got affected.
America, America.
Good job, David. So we had a lot of weird things happening, and if anyone knows me, I'm very outgoing. I talk with my hands a lot. You know, I'm not one to be mute or kind of shut down at all. I was
Right.
fine. If you watch it, I'll go up first. I went right up the stairs. As soon as I went up to the top of the stairs, I got a really bad headache, and the last thing I remember saying is my neck hurts.
Mm.
And the next thing I know, Brandy
Dang it, I
was-
wish I could have said what I was going to tell you before you said all that.
Oh,
Damn it.
what were you gonna say?
Okay. When I was watching the video, there's a man that's standing behind you with his hands like latched onto your shoulders, like his thumbs are digging into the base of your neck
You know what the
while you're sitting there.
You know what the strangest thing is Adam, who's going to be on my show next week, just did the exact same thing and said the exact same thing with the thumbs and the
telling you.
hands while we were at
Mhm.
Eloise. A few
She's
weeks
good,
ago.
that Beth.
I mean, that's crazy that you just said the exact same thing somebody else said.
That's
Um,
awesome.
But the next thing I remembered was Brandy was literally pulling me down the stairs, and when I hit the steps, I came through. I had my Apple Watch on, and I always have my heart rate. And
Oh.
I looked down; it was at 42, and then a second later, I was at 160, and I immediately just started tearing.
Oh.
Like I had no idea, and I said I think something was in me, and then the next thing I said was I think they're doing bad things here, and you know they do a lot of paranormal groups come in there and do stuff. So and then Matt got really affected, where Matt is the gentle giant, and I
Right.
thought he was going to throw a chair across the room. It was actually pretty scary. And then
Wow.
a little bit while later, Todd had got affected. He started to get kind of angry, and then he went outside, and we just decided at that point, you know, it's time to wrap up and get out of here.
Call it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when three people all get affected, none of the ladies that were with us got affected. It was all directed at us. And
Interesting.
Really?
the number one thing I wanted to do there, and all I talked about is I wanted to go down to the basement because that's where the like the railroad, you know, and all that from back in the day was. And
Hmm.
I didn't even see the basement. Never even made it down there. Like that's.
Hmm.
But enough about me. Let's talk more about you.
It was I got kind of dizzy watching that. I mean, and not just necessarily, but it was almost like a fever haze about it.
And it's to this
Yeah.
day, and like I said on there, it still haunts me. I watched it once or twice afterwards just to see, because I don't remember any of it. I have no recollection of it whatsoever.
How did you
Yeah.
recover?
Brandy, like she said, she just cleansed it. I was outside, I
Yeah.
was shaking, and at that point, I didn't believe in protection or anything like that, which she gave me a very hard tongue lashing for the next year of my life. It seemed like about it, but that's okay. I
Lesson
deserved
learned,
it.
right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
But she didn't want me to go back in, but I did want to go back in. And I was outside for, I think, about 20 minutes. I calmed down. I went back in. And after that, I was fine. I was right back to myself. And then, like I said, though, I went right for Matt, and then I went for Todd. And it's just a crazy place. And, you know, to this day, that
Yeah.
whole experience still bugs me because I don't like not remembering stuff. And then just
Mm.
watching my face. And that's why I did that slow part at the end.
Yeah.
I could just see nobody's home. There's no reason why my eyes are just right down here, halfway closed, and looking like I'm about to punch a wall. I mean,
Right.
it was
What
just
did you? How did you feel watching it back though, for the first time?
nauseous, like I was about to throw up.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It's horrifying.
Do you remember it all after you watched it back? Was it like watching a movie you had never seen?
Yep. And even when I was doing the clips here, I was actually getting like cold and shaking. Like I was still getting that nauseous feeling. Like I wanted to do it because I would like to show people evidence, and I like to show people experiences that we have. You know, because this stuff's not scripted. It's not,
Yeah.
we're not doing this for the entertainment of it. We do it because we love doing it. And doing the video and editing it and watching it over and over and over, I couldn't wait to be done with it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
great video. I'm really proud how it turned out, but that's for everyone else to watch. I probably won't watch it again.
Yeah.
Mm,
I know that experience. Charlotte actually experienced it with me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, spirits have a way to push their energy on you. And sometimes it's a little bit too much to where you basically are taken over. That's what they call jumping.
Hmm.
And there was a lot of times, well, one night at Randolph, I basically got overwhelmed and Cheryl experienced that. I don't remember a good 15 minutes of the whole night, and it's terrifying.
It's one of the most, and I don't even know how to put it unless you actually go through it, but just to say, like, for me, my neck really hurts,
Hmm.
and then the next thing I'm walking down the stairs, because if anyone on there, that's watching that knows me, I'm very protective of my equipment. I'm
Yeah.
It's my stuff. I don't mind other people using it, but I'm always going to be around
Yeah.
it. I
Right.
left all my stuff up there. I think the only thing I grabbed was my phone for some reason, but
Mm.
I left my flashlight up there. I left my SLS camera. I left my iPad with the FLIR on it.
You're like, forget it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Like, I was even walking down the stairs, and wasn't even thinking about it. The only
Yeah.
thing I was thinking, and I said it over and over and over again, was I think something was in me, and that's all I kept telling
Mhm.
Brandy. And then she was literally pretty much running me down the stairs. So,
Yeah. Good job, Brandy.
as always. All right, so let's talk about you two and something you guys like doing, and that's going all over the country.
Yes.
So let's first talk about Savannah, because I know you mentioned Savannah to me, and
Yeah.
you used to living 10 to 15 minutes from there, right over the Talmadge Bridge over in South Carolina. I love Savannah. I've talked about it
Yeah.
numerous times. One of the first times I've ever had a paranormal experience, besides with my show that I was on, was at the Moon River Brewery, where I saw a shadow figure. So, what are some of the locations you investigated while you were down there?
What is the name of that freaking place? It just slipped my mind.
Which one?
The where
one
we
in
stayed.
Americus? The one in Americus, the hotel with the turret thing? Or
Well, yeah, that was one. What was the
You
what
talking
was
about
the hotel we stayed at?
the
Marshall House?
was it East Bay Inn? Or was it the other one?
Shit, I can't remember.
Oh,
I can't remember, but it
that's
was
what
great.
happens when you get old.
Well, what a
Um,
lot of people don't know about Savannah too is it's a to-go cup city.
yeah.
It's just truth.
Yeah, well, we had nothing to go, and that's what makes it even worse.
No.
Because we genuinely just can't remember.
Well,
It was I can't remember the name of the inn, but it was we had some pretty weird experiences there. That place is Savannah reminds me a lot of New Orleans, in which there's a lot of transient spirits. It seems
Yes.
like moving around. You've got so many different layers of insignificant layers of history, and not only history but tragic history. I mean,
Yes.
tons of tragedy from the natives to their own native wars, to early settlers, to Civil War, to slavery, to riots, to segregate. I mean, there's a lot of layers to Savannah, and
and when you even talk about layers, and a lot of people don't know this, there are literally layers to
Yes.
Savannah.
Layers upon layers. Yeah.
And a lot of people
That's
don't
true.
realize that the bottom layer, and then they actually built upon that, and then they built upon that, and now Savannah has all the squares and everything
Yeah.
like that. But River Street's
Yeah.
2 stories down. You got to go
I
down the
know.
original steps to go down there.
Yeah.
Hmm. Which are
And-
crazy.
they are almost died.
Well, that's why they have the waiver sign where it says walk at your own risk. 'Cause if anyone has
Barely walk on my own as it is.
Yeah.
But Beth actually got sick.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
When the first time we walked out into the streets, I took her into a square,
Mhm.
and there's several different squares along in Savannah, and she
and a
actually
little movie tidbit: Forrest Gump was filmed partially in Savannah,
Yes.
mostly
that's
in
true.
South Carolina, but it was filmed
That's
in
right.
Savannah.
That's
true.
right. And I mean, you could tell the story, Beth, but we got into the middle of the square, and once we did, she just got a little disoriented. She got dizzy. She got nauseous.
Yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. That all the above. It was the energy in that town is so intense. And when when you're a psychic, you open yourself up into a town like that. It's just I was not prepared for how much energy is in that place,
Oh,
and it
absolutely.
just wham!
Which
It
is
just nailed me.
which is crazy because it's mostly all outdoors. If you think about it, I mean, you go into all
Uh-huh.
these restaurants to the original buildings. Yeah, they're spruced up a little bit, but
Mhm.
you walk around and it's just everywhere. It's like shoulder to shoulder.
Oh yeah. And then I find out that like some of these squares were actually built over top of old cemeteries. Like there's
I was waiting for you to say
bodies under
that.
these squares that I was like, and I
Mhm.
kept telling Charlotte, I said, I feel like I'm stepping on people. I feel like I'm stepping on people. And then she told me that, and I was like, ugh,
Well, that goes back to the
Yeah.
whole layer theory.
yeah.
You know, that city's just built and built and built. So
Hmm.
let's move on. Let's go to Pennsylvania.
When we was in Gettysburg,
Any other locations besides Gettysburg? I just have
uh,
states.
oh, you just have states. Okay, I was like, where did we go in
I
Pennsylvania?
got Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Southern California, Nevada, New Mexico, Georgia,
Yes.
Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida. Pick one.
Yes. Okay. California is
Okay.
kind of where it all started for Charlotte and I and
Yes.
Perfect.
Ghost. I
Let's
mean,
hear
that
about it.
was like the launching pad.
Mhm.
We ended up doing the Queen Mary,
Oh wow,
and
that's on my
when that
bucket
was,
list.
oh, it's beautiful and
I
fantastic.
love
And
Titanic,
oh,
and it just reminds me of everything about it. So
oh yes, it does. We start walking down through what was we was in Hollywood, right? The Walk of the
Yeah, we
Stars.
were. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And we start following this path and we're reading these messages of people that, when they arrived in California, what their dreams were and kind of what they've achieved or where they have failed, kind of thing. And so we're following that and we're talking about it. And we end up on this like bench beg kind of thing at the end of it. And, we were like, let's do this. You and I, we could do this. And that's where it all started, the investigations, the radio show, the whole nine yards. And I couldn't have imagined doing this with anybody else. That's my soul sister.
That's my soul sister.
Soul sister.
Jeff Atkins wants to know what are
High
your
five.
favorites.
Oh,
Um, our favorites.
okay. Shoot. Here
I,
we go.
I I really enjoyed when we got a behind us. Well, we took the Man's Theater the Chinese theater tour,
Okay.
and that was great. But then we hooked up with this guy on the outside, Tony, who was a film student, I believe, at the time, and he was also working there. And he said, "Come on, I'll give you the real tour." So
That's the best way to do it.
yeah,
Yes.
we're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So he takes us behind the scenes, takes us downstairs to the women's bathroom where we had just been, and told us all kinds of stories about that. And about, he showed us the mirror where Marilyn Monroe used to sit and put on her makeup. And then he took us into this room that was in the basement. And all these tunnels have been sealed off throughout the years. But that's where they used to sneak in all the talent when they would have premieres. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you what, that whole area is creepy.
So cool. So cool. It was
And then
amazing.
we got to go behind the stage where there have been, tons of things happen. I mean, if you think about all the emotions too that have flooded that place over the years, and the residual energy alone there is amazing, and the relics that they have there from, you know, the past from Hollywood's past, it was just pretty incredible. And then we went across the street to the Roosevelt Hotel because he told us to go there. And
Oh, that was so cool. Yes.
that was wild.
I think one of the best things is when you go to a location, just to go, and you meet someone and you get to do the behind the scene things. And
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, when you get to do that, it's like one of the most rewarding experiences ever.
It was amazing. It was truly amazing to get to meet up with Tony and him do that for us. And we basically ended up following like a Marilyn Monroe path.
Yeah, it
Through
was
that
weird. She's like
whole
our spirit
thing.
animal.
Yeah. So yeah, it was
Rest of
really
the
cool. Yeah,
trip.
she was. She was our spirit animal. And we walked across the hotel and we just kind of started walking, and Charlotte and I both stopped at this same hotel room door. And I'm like, oh my God, she's in there. And then we start talking. I start telling her images. She's looking out a window over this pool, blah, blah, blah. And then Charlotte pulls out her phone, looks it up, and it was the room.
Oh wow.
And then we go out to the pool and we look up and we're like, oh my God, there's the windows. And every place that we stopped on the way, gosh, where was we heading? Didn't we go through like New Mexico and all of that too?
Yeah, we went to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon. And we stop in this, like, they have all these like Native American things, and then behind the counter is this big poster of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I mean, she would
Like,
just
what the
appear in
hell?
the
It's
most
literally just
bizarre of
following you everywhere
places.
you go.
Yeah, and we were like,
Yes.
Literally
Exactly.
just following you everywhere.
Which is fine. She could follow me anywhere she wants. She can follow Charlotte anywhere she wants.
yes.
We're
we
okay
ha-
with that.
So we have a few more minutes because we only have till 9.
Okay.
One more location you want to talk about. What's your absolute? Actually, better yet, I'm gonna twist this around a little bit. Favorite pieces of equipment, because I love to ask everybody that.
Me.
Either or.
Yeah. No, me.
Oh,
That's my
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a person, yourself, you're the best piece of equipment there is out there. As far as sensing things, as far as, shoot, I don't know. I love digital recorders. I don't know. I just like sitting and listening myself.
I always like to ask everyone because everyone has such a different way of investigating, and
Yeah.
every way is right in my opinion. So
True.
every way everybody does, it's not a right way or a wrong way. I just like to hear how everybody does it.
Yeah. What about you, Charlotte?
Beth is one of my favorite pieces of equipment, and I now definitely the Asbury Jeff Fent's creation is pretty much at the top right now. And also I have a Paranologies. What is it? It's a periscope.
Yeah, Periscope.
And I love that. I love that piece of equipment. It's it goes everywhere with me. When I travel for work, I throw it in my bag. It's if I have my sunglasses with me, I have my periscope with me.
You always got to have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll just whip it out and put it somewhere.
So Charlotte,
Anywhere I can.
I want to sincerely thank you for coming on the show today.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having
can't
us.
Thank you enough. I know schedules were kind of back and forth, especially with me not being here and me panicking for getting things done, but we got it. It came out good.
Yes.
But I really am excited for the Ghost of War series. I cannot wait to watch that. Gettysburg is amazing. The box is amazing. I can't wait for Beth to be a guest on it because I want to see what you two can come up with.
Yes.
So
I can't wait either.
I'm really excited. I'm also excited to see what other things you guys are going to come up with as well because you guys are always going out and going places. I'm going to check out your group and see the locations because I would definitely like to come out to one because I like to see new people, trying things.
Yes.
So definitely
Yes.
want to do that. Real quick, once again, I know we have a lot of viewers. Charlotte, how can they follow the new series? Can you tell us?
Yes, go to ghostofwarseries.com, and you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ghosts, plural, of War Series. So just do a search and it'll pop up.
Awesome. And Beth, how can they follow you?
Well, Twitter, Instagram at Mrs. Moore 1003. I'm always popping on our Ghost Hunts USA group page on Facebook. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
can I say a quick thank you to DPX for donating to our Kickstarter and donating the night at Eloise. That was amazing, and it really helped to drive some donations. And thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'll speak on behalf of Jeff and Todd. Thank you for letting us do it because I was unable to go that night because I had to work, but it looked like they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I know there's some videos and stuff coming out from it, so stay tuned. Thank you again for coming on. We'll definitely We'll definitely be talking soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So thank you everyone for tuning in. There we go. Thank you everyone for tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or watching on Twitch. I appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your night to watch my show. Next week's show is going to be a first for me. I'm going to actually have a guest in the studio, and that's going to be Adam. It's going to be a good time because Adam and I investigated Eloise together, and it's probably one of the most active investigations that we got some incredible evidence to go over. We got some stories to talk about. So really don't want to miss that show. As always, feel free to send me any suggestions on what you want to see on the show in the future, or if you have questions from the show tonight or any of the past shows, you can get in touch with me on our Facebook page or any of our DPX social media pages. The next event for DPX will be Jeff and Todd at Michigan Comic-Con in August, the 16th through the 18th. You can see these two in Detroit, August 16th at 11 p.m., August 17th at 5:30 p.m., and August 18th at 1 p.m. If you're in the area, make sure you stop by and say hello. For everyone asking about Eloise tickets, because we get a lot of requests, so we'll be announcing some new dates soon, so make sure you follow our social media pages, and we'll post it there. If you missed any of our live feeds and want to catch up, DPX main page and DPX Live. On both those pages, we have videos, so make sure you watch that. So that's it for this week's episode of DPX Live. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe and be well. Thank you.